Hey everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and today is part 3 of our 10th grade plans, and we're going to be talking about what we're doing for math and English. So let's get right into it. Last year we did Denison algebra, and it was infinitely better than what we had been dealing with before that. So we're going to carry on with that, and I have bought the geometry. We're going to do the success geometry this year, and I think, I didn't open this yet, so let's do that right now, shall we? Take this out of the shrink wrap, because I have not had a chance to do that yet, and I'll show you what you get with this. What I like about Denison is that he has a growth mindset approach. He really focuses on the positivity and like making sure that the student has a good mindset for math. Like, this is a great program for kids who are math resistant, for kids who struggle with math or who feel very stressed out by it. I feel like he does a really good job of helping the student feel good about things, feel like they can do this. So we did the regular Algebra 1 last year. This year we're doing the success version of geometry, and why I chose this is that it's a little more bite-sized. I feel like we just could not get through the whole of Algebra 1 last year. It was a lot more than we could manage. My daughter still needs to take her time. She's a slow worker, and so like she's very careful and really wants to really focus and make sure she does every problem and take her time with it, so, which is not a bad thing, but it does slow us way down. So I bought Success Geometry, and this is like the same as the regular geometry. I think it just like sort of breaks it down in smaller chunks, which is exactly what we needed. So I don't know why I'm holding this open down in my lap where you can't see it. So let me pick it up. So like, I really like his BHAG sheets he has at the beginning, where they're called Big Hairy Awesome Geometry, and it's sort of like not a cheat sheet, but kind of that students can refer to while they're studying, while they're doing their test, to help them remember all those big important things that they need to know to work out the problems. And then so for each chapter, so like chapter 1 is an algebra review, and it's just like breaking down in small chunks what the student's going to do. They watch a video and follow along the video with him going over the assignment and like working out the problems and explaining everything, and then they have an assignment to do on their own, and then they have to check their work. There is a solutions manual, and she checks her own work. Sometimes she'll bring it to me to go over just to make sure I know what she got done and how she did with that. And then there's a parent guide and a test booklet that comes with it too. And there are tests for every unit. And I just think this is a really, really great program. Highly recommend it, especially if, like I said, if you have a kid who is math resistant, who struggles a lot with math, who feels like they're dumb and thinks that they can't do math, Denison algebra, Denison geometry has been a lifesaver, I think. So, wish it existed when my older 3 were younger, because 2 of my older 3 would have been perfect for this. So in addition to that, I also picked up one other thing for math. I don't know what we're going to do with this yet, or if we're even going to get to it, but I wanted to make sure we reviewed algebra a little bit throughout the year, because I didn't want her to completely lose all that information. So I grabbed this Must Know High School Algebra, and I don't know what we're going to do with it, but I bought it, so I figured I'd at least pull it out. And it has like lessons and exercises in it. Like I said, this might end up not getting used at all, but I had the thought like maybe we'll review algebra, so we'll see. Moving on to English. Again, writing is going to be a big focus. I really had like 3 prongs that I wanted to hit. I wanted to make sure we cover vocabulary, I want to make sure we cover grammar, and I wanted to make sure we cover writing. As I was trying to figure out what we're going to do, I remembered I had this, and I was like, oh, we should just do that. Perks of being a longtime homeschooler, you probably have a lot already on your shelves, and so I remembered we had Writing with Skill 3 by Susan Weisbauer, and might as well use it, right? Like, we have it, so I think we're gonna do that. So I have both of these, the student book and the parent guide, the teacher guide, and what I like about this is it's very get it done. And I think we've hit the point where that's what we need. We need something that's going to be really easy to just like make it happen. And I like that it has everything all laid out. We don't have to think too much about it. We just need to do it. So that is what we're going to be doing for writing. Then for grammar and composition and vocabulary, I think it was Arlene I saw with this book. This is vocabulary. And this is the Must-Know High School Vocabulary, 500 Words to Know Before You Go to College. It's an ideal resource for prepping for the SATs, ACTs, and AP prep. And we did a vocabulary course last year. And so I was like, well, what are we going to do this year? And that looked ideal. So that's what we're going to do. So this is, hold on, let me try to like go to the right page here. So it talks in like the first chapter, you have a whole bunch of common prefixes here, and then some stuff to go over about how to use them, roots, and how to apply the knowledge, and then exercises to do based on everything you just studied. So it's pretty straightforward, again, very like workbooky, but for what it is, that's fine. I also have the same thing, but this one is for grammar and composition. I don't know how much we're going to use the composition stuff since we're going to be doing the Writing with Skill, but I figured for grammar it might be useful. And honestly, at this point, we're just like, I'm paying attention to her writing, and when I notice something, that's where we go and like look for that specific thing to study. So a lot of the grammar we're going to be doing is going to be directly like, what is she messing up in her writing? What do we need to focus on? Let's tackle that. So I don't know if we're going to go straight through this book or just like use it when we notice a problem. And then I had this in our stack last year. We just never got to it. And so I really wanted to try to make it happen this year. And that is You, the Story by Ruta Sepetys. This is her nonfiction book about how to write your own story, how to tell your story like memoir style, but also like how to tell a good story. And there's writing prompts, and she does a lot of like explaining like how to think about the plot, how to think about the characters, like how to write, and like who better to do that than Ruta Sepetys. She's like one of my favorite authors, so I think this would be a really cool resource. My daughter likes to write her own stories. She's writing her own webcomic, so this is sort of a nice tie-in to the creative side of writing. So that is what we'll be using for our math and English in 10th grade. Pretty straightforward, not a lot of exciting stuff. I feel like most of the stuff you're going to use for those aren't going to be that fun and exciting to talk about anyway, but that is what we have for this year. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I have one more coming up where we're going to talk about our electives and online courses. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in that video. Happy reading. Bye.